Hey guys, today we're going to fix this Manix 2 lightweight that I built from a blade swap. It's in 52100 steel. It's a tool steel. This Manix is a older version of the blade, so it has some different lock face geometry. So when I did the blade swap, it stopped locking out fully. It's pretty much a detent, a double detent. The knife was purchased from Apostle P Knife Sharpening Service on YouTube. They've been running knife sharpening for probably 13 years. Also, they do a knife sale every Thursday on their YouTube channel. So if you ever try to buy a good price knife, that's where I go. I got this one for, I think it was like $100. It was a full-size Manix that I used for my my grill build. And so right now we're just going to diagnose the problems after we disassemble, because I don't know at this point why it's not locking out fully. You know, so this is just me disassembling. The body screws were T8, and I believe the pivot is a T10. How is everybody feeling about FRN? You know, I think we might upgrade in the future now that we solve the problem. So maybe the original Go or Applied Weapons. Everything was pretty standard to come out. I didn't mess with the ball cage when I took it apart. I just left it in there, so I'm not losing any springs or anything like that. The Manix 2 was definitely a harder knife to take apart when I first started, but now that I've done them a few times, it's not a big deal. You know, you just got to be careful of the springs flying out, but they hold pretty well in there if you don't put any sideward force. The Manix 2 was my first Grail knife from Spyderco, first USA made knife, I believe, and it's also the first knife I have two of. I always have a rule saying that I wouldn't get the same knife twice if I already own it. With the Manix 2, when it came to the Grail build, I needed the liners, so I bought it and might as well put it back together. So I have two instead of just having it as Frankenstein parts. We got the tube was giving me problems, so it popped right out. I'm not going to do any speeding up in this video, just so we can see it together and see how long it takes. This is a project I didn't really know how I was going to fix when I first started disassembling. You know, but as soon as you see how everything locks up, you can kind of see how we're going to fix it. Yeah, FRN is a material a lot of people don't like. For me, I think it's a perfectly good, cheap material. You know, if you can keep a knife under a certain price point by using it, I don't see why not. This one's also pretty dirty. You know, I gotta clean my knives more regularly. But that's why I do prefer washers over bearings, because I carry my knives in harsher environments, a lot of dust, and I just don't like the gritty sound, even if it doesn't function. If it still functions the same. So here I'm trying to see where exactly the problem is, and you can see the lock face is just a little too big, and you can see the ceramic balls doesn't want to get past. The ceramic ball also might be a larger one, but I don't think so. I think this Manix 2 is just older, so the lock face is a little different from what I've read on the Reddit and forums. So I was really happy, you know, once I figured out what the problem was. I decided to grab the Dremel and just take off a little bit at a time. And you don't want to go too fast, or it might heat up. And you don't want it to heat up even though it's not by the edge. You don't want the steel to be softer and start wearing down on you from use. And also, you don't want it rounded to where the the ceramic ball doesn't sit where it should be. So I'm trying to just go slow and keep it as flat as possible. And if you take off too much metal, I'm assuming you'll get some blade rock or blade play. So you can see this has a black coating, so it makes it a little easier to see where I'm grinding and what's already been grinded. So I just keep going, trying to keep it smooth. And I'm also feeling for the heat with my fingers to make sure it doesn't overheat. The edge on this knife was also done by the Apostle P Knife Service. He's a older gentleman. He's been in the community for longer than I've been, definitely. 13 years, I think he's been on YouTube doing the same thing, the sales and stuff. So if anybody wants to give him a check out, that's what I would consider a legendary creator. Just a little bit at a time. It was a little bit messy to do inside, but it wasn't too much of a big deal. So this is only going to be a part one of this. This is going to probably come out on Monday for Modded Mondays. But next week we're going to do another blade chop with this one. I already started doing the swedge and the tip, but I also want to thin it out. And the finish on this knife is DLC, but the previous owner took what I'm assuming is some kind of Brillo pad or steel wool to the blade, and it has a distressed look, and it doesn't look bad, but it's definitely a kind of sloppy, so I want to get a clean finish on it, maybe thin it out just a little bit. And I'm also going for more of like a sheep's foot type blade, but still has the point. And I think I might also add the harpoon like the last one I did. I think that one came out really nice. So you can see here I'm just testing out to see if it fits, but it's a little hard to do. So I end up putting in the pivot just so I can make sure everything lines up properly instead of just doing it by eye. So it's locked up and everything seems to be functioning, and there's no extra steel for the ceramic ball to catch on. So it seems like it's rolling in pretty good. Everything's locked up really solid. The ceramic ball goes, I don't know if it's all the way in, but it definitely locks up 75%, I want to say. Which is more than enough for it to not come out. And there's no wiggle, no rock, so that's good. Everyone have a good day. Stay blessed. Thank you.